Hey guys, how's that look? Happy Friday. I know you guys are out speaking in public today, so you need this message. I'm just kidding. Hopefully you have all your speaking engagements completed for the week, and this message will help you for the future. Why are we talking about this in Stress Busters? Because we talk about everything in Stress Busters. Because part of living life and just being the best that we can be brings on this feeling of stress sometimes. And I had put into the group, one of the weeks, we always pick a topic of the week that we're going to chat about on Friday. And I asked, what are you stressed about? And Michelle brought up that she, getting in front of people and speaking is a stressful situation. So we're going to talk about that today. Excuse me. Let me drink out of my beautiful new cup. Thank you, Stephanie. Be brave, bold, and fearless. Isn't this awesome? Stephanie's my daily affirmation partner, and she gave me this affirmation on my water cup so I can drink out of it. But this is perfect for the topic this week, because if we are speaking in public, sometimes in front of even a couple of people, we get this stress feeling inside of us. The butterflies start coming, or like, what was I going to say? All that happens because remember, our brain kind of shuts down when we're stressed. And so we have to do a few things to make that go away. And unfortunately, those things that you think that you can just like do to make that happen are not there. There's nothing that's going to stop you from really feeling that experience. I spoke in front of schools of people, hundreds of people, and it still comes on. It still comes on every single time. The reason is because we are always thinking about what somebody else is going to think. We're thinking about whether or not we're going to sound good in front of other people. And I want you to think back to like anybody that you've ever heard speaking. Now, obviously, there are some good speakers and some phenomenal speakers. But really, has there ever been really a terrible speaker that you heard, even in your small networking groups, or if you've been in a class situation where people had to do speeches? I know for me, looking at them from my point of view, I always get something out of something someone says. Now, sometimes, maybe it's drawn out, but it's very rare. And I've heard a lot of people talk, and I think that we overanalyze ourselves and the impact that we might have in our few minutes that we speak, or if we have a 10-minute speech that we're going to be doing. I think we kind of put ourselves, because we're coming from the inside out, on this big expectation that we have to change the world in that 10 minutes. And no, we just have to share from our heart where we are today, what we know that someone else doesn't know, and just open our mouth. Those feelings that you have aren't really going to go away. What we have to do is change our story. I was listening, thank you, Sue, to Tony Robbins this morning. She posted in our group a talk that he did, and it was about change your story, change your life. And I thought, how can I interweave this into today's topic? And I want to share with you something that happened to Kaylee, and maybe it will help you guys as well. Kaylee's my she was 15 at the time. She's 16 now, but she's a high schooler. And I'm telling you, every time she speaks, I want to listen. Everybody wants to listen. She's wonderful. She's my daughter, and of course I'm going to say that. But I really believe that everybody enjoys hearing what she has to say. She's very when she's herself. Okay, let's say when she's really just Kaylee, she has this way about looking at information and really just kind of sharing it with you, but also maybe changing it a little bit, giving you her opinion. And she's very, matter-of-factly, so it's not all, drawn out sometimes. So it's perfect. I think she's a perfect speaker. This is my daughter, Kaylee, perfect speaker. And yet she had to share at her class a few minutes. She had to share this little thing that she had worked on. And she literally got up in front of the class and started crying. She couldn't speak. Now, I know, and you know, if you know Kaylee, everybody in that class would have loved to hear what she had to say. They would have loved it. But because this stress response came on her, this stress response that isn't really going to never be there, it's going to be there. When you are in a situation that is out of your comfort zone and you think it's out of your character, you're going to feel that stress response because your brain wants to shut you down. It wants to look at what's happening. You know, does it need to protect you? And so you get that response happening. Your heart races, your belly's got all these butterflies. You just feel it. That's not going to stop. So in that moment, when she felt that, it was probably her first time actually feeling it so intensely because she's never really been in front of a large group of 20 kids and had to share something with them. So she didn't know what to do. She didn't know how the strategies worked to get through that situation. So she cried and literally could not give the speech. She had to sit down and the next day tell the teacher what she had done on her project to actually get the grade. Now, as we continue to grow up and we push ourselves, we kind of can get through that. But this is what happens. And this is where the change your story, change your life comes in. See, Kaylee, she will always remember that moment in time when that first happened and she couldn't do it and that she cried and she couldn't handle it. Imagine the story she's carrying with her now forever, okay? We carry those same stories. We don't realize it, but at some point we might have had that same experience where we cared about what other people were going to say, or we didn't know how to handle that natural response that our body went through when we were in a weird situation. So now we have this story in our brain that tells us, I can't do this. I am not a good speaker. And this is what she's telling herself right now. So we have to kind of work through that. We have to change that story for her because 10 years from now, or even the next few years, when she gets in front of a group of people, she's going to feel what she felt in that moment. How many of you are feeling when you are getting ready to speak in front of people, maybe memories that happened 20 years ago, 10 years ago? You have to change what's happening in that moment. When that stress response comes up, you have to switch the brain. You have to tell yourself, I'm not nervous, I'm excited. I know, right? Cordy, I'm excited to actually speak right now. I'm going to share with these people what I know, and they're going to love it. You have to actually change your story, change what you feel in that moment by changing what you tell yourself, your self-talk. Now, I work with some business partners and doing a live video. We talked yesterday about doing live videos, and I get nervous coming on every day. I don't know if my brain doesn't work very well all the time, and I don't know if what's going to come out is going to all be cohesive. I don't know if what I'm going to say is valuable to you, but what's pushing me is that the more I do it, the less I get fearful of it, a less stress response. See, Kaylee, because that was her first stress response, she's going to have to work at changing that story and experience building that skill by pushing herself to do it again. Even though it was a horrible experience in the beginning, she's going to have to build the confidence because it's a skill. She has to build it, and by doing it again and again. And then once she does that, she's going to start changing that story and changing what's in her mind about speaking in front of people. Acting out of character every day helps you to build that skill. Doing something you feel uncomfortable with, doing it anyway. You're not going to get this magical, ooh, I'm a speaker and I love it. There are very, very famous speakers that still get nervous before they go on stage. Absolutely get the same response. Absolutely. But you know what's the difference of the successful ones and the ones that are not speaking are the successful ones will change their story. They'll change in their mind what they feel in that moment, and they change it to something that is positive. And that's such a corny word, but positive. You know, instead of feeling, oh my God, am I going to say something right? Are they going to like what I have to say? They change that, the self-talk. I am so excited. There are 10 people in this room that I can speak to. And if you visualize yourself in front of that room speaking to 10 people, and you can visualize that they're hearing what you have to say and they're enjoying it, the fear of it becomes less and less in that moment. And then you'll have the courage, you'll do it afraid anyway, and you'll actually start to build that skill and that confidence. And speaking in front of people will get easier and easier. Okay, so I want you to push yourself. The more you push yourself, the more you're going to feel confident. And the more you feel confident, the more you'll do things and share what you know with other people. So again, I think I kind of jibber-jashed, all over the place again. But my point of this is that the stories that happen, those experiences that happened so long ago in front of groups of people for us, still we hold on to those feelings and we tell ourselves we can't do it. And I don't think there's anybody that really has ever spoken that I haven't gotten something out of. And even when you are sharing with a room full of people, people are in all different places. They're just humans. We're all the same. We really are. So they're all in different places. And even though one person may not be paying attention, or somebody else is like on their iPhone or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's that one person in the room that you're talking to that actually is gaining something from you. That's who you're talking to. That's why you are there for that day, to share what you know. So if you're speaking in public, you're not going to not feel the nervousness, but you have to change that idea in your mind that this is a fearful, scary thing to this is an exciting opportunity. And then when you're reading the room and you're like, oh my God, are they, not enjoying what I'm saying, which will happen. You have to plow through to that one person that you think is paying attention and focus on that person. Okay, now I know some of you have different experiences with having to speak in public. Maybe not all of you do that. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe you're not a public speaker. But if you're in business, you do have the opportunity to get in front of people. If you're a teacher, you get in front of groups of people when you're sharing things in committees. And if you work in any place that has more than a couple people, sometimes even just sharing the results of something you worked on with a group of people is scary. But you have to continue to plow through that and focus on your message and what you want to share. Know that the feeling of stress is normal. It's going to happen. Change your self-talk. Change what you're telling yourself. And then keep pushing yourself to do it over and over and over again. Okay? I hope that's been helpful. If you are new to the broadcast today, I'm Maria Rupka from Stress Busters. You can go to bustedstress.com to sign up for a 21-day challenge of getting stress out of your life. Now, we've been on this journey for almost 3 months now. It's very exciting. I did a video for every day about what stress does to the body. I've really prepared for those lessons, and those are all under the video section of our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is a closed group, but you have the ability, once you're in this Facebook group, to add anyone you think needs help with stress. We take a different topic every week. Every week I put in the Facebook group a topic that we're going to chat about on Friday. And then on Friday I come and try to share something I know about that topic. Next week I have a really good one. 3 decisions that we make all the time. So the topic, the chatting in the group says, You know, what decisions do we make all the time? So I want you to kind of comment in there. The group is there for everyone to benefit from the wonderful group of people that are on this journey together to bust the stress out of life. And stress comes with everything that we do. So let's think about what kind of decisions that we make all the time. Put them in the group so we can get some dialogue going. Join me next Friday because we're going to talk about those 3 decisions that we make in our life all the time. And if we can make them correctly, we can reduce our stress. We can reduce our stress. I'm not sure if, you know, I'm like going back, and that happens when you're speaking in public. You're like, did anything I say make any sense? And I'm not really sure. Sometimes I get some feedback that says, yeah, that made sense. And I try on Friday to be very live, you know, without preparation. Like the videos that I did were preparation. I prepared, and hopefully they were really very beneficial for you. I try to just go at, you know, and just share with you what I'm thinking on that topic on Friday, get some dialogue going. So I hope some of it made sense. I know I've summarized it 1,000 times, maybe, but one, remember, you're going to keep having the stress response. It's your body protecting you in an odd situation. Until it's not odd for you anymore, you'll continue to have it. So that's where you keep putting yourself out there to do public speaking so that you don't, your body doesn't think it's odd anymore. It becomes kind of natural. And then remember that even people that speak very successfully get that same response, but they change their self-talk. They change what they say to themselves when they feel it coming on. They don't give into it like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. They change it. I'm excited. I'm going to share with other people. And then focus on who's paying attention. Focus on the feedback from the 1 or 2 people that you get. Make that your story. Don't make the story of the person not paying attention, because they really are in a different place in the world. It doesn't have anything to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It's whatever they're thinking or feeling at the time. And that information that you have is just not for them in that moment. So it's not you. It's just them. So don't focus on those people that aren't really engaged. Focus on the few people that are engaged and start making that your story. And focus on only that. Okay? And also just do it. Just keep doing it. Build that confidence by building the skill and pushing through by doing things you're uncomfortable with. All right, I hope that's been helpful. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Reach out to me at bustedstress.com, or you could reach out to me on my Facebook. Just message me if you have any questions. Have a great weekend.